Hello guys, welcome to another interesting video. It's your guy Emily Okuko here with the trumpet. So today I'm going to be talking about how you can play wonderful solos over any song, not just on the trumpet. The same technique goes for whatever instrument you're playing and whatever genre of music you might be into. So make sure you watch, you subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. So now let's get started. Now what's a solo? A solo is a performance by one musician where he either plays the melody or he improvises over chord changes. Lots of the time, the solo parts are usually given to the best or the most experienced or most skillful musicians. The first step to be able to play wonderful solos, no matter what type of instrument you might be playing, is for you to listen. I'm going to use an illustration. You are learning a language, let's say English language. You are just starting off with English. You don't know much about English language. So you are learning the language now. So the only words you speak are the ones you are learning with your teacher. Say, come here, I want to eat, I'm going out, and stuff like that. So if you only engage your English speaking with your teacher, you have a very limited vocabulary. That's to very basic words which you and the teacher you speak or you use during the teaching. But if you expand your English speaking, you choose to greet the neighbors. From greeting, they engage you in conversations where they speak some new words that may be strange to you or may be new to you. And then you are like, I'm sorry, what does this mean? And they explain it to you. Now you've learnt a new word. In your next conversation, you can actually bring in that word into your conversation. So the same thing goes with music. You have to listen for you to be able to play wonderful solos. You have to listen to musicians who play that genre of music, not just one, not just two, but as many as possible. Listen to them, the way they phrase passages. Each genre of music comes with its own characteristics, things that define it. The way they phrase notes is different for each. Let's say you're playing classical music and you're playing the popular hymn Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound. The way you're going to phrase and articulate the notes, they must demonstrate properties of classical music. If it's a jazz system you're playing in, you know that okay, I'm going to be playing the notes this way. I have something like this, but I'll choose to phrase it so and so way. So that's the essence of listening. So you can understand and increase your vocabulary. And then not just listening. When you listen, you ask questions. You ask questions who are more advanced than you. Say, okay, I listened to this piece and this person was supposed to play this, but he added this, he did this instead. So the person will now tell you, okay, this is why, and this is why he didn't do it, or this is why he did it. So when you listen, if you have any way you don't understand what's going on or why the person did a certain thing the person did, you can ask questions. Now the next step is copying. Okay, that may sound somehow odd or awkward because you're trying to play some solos your own way. You don't want to be sounding like some other person. You want to bring your own ideas, make so that if someone listens to the solo, you sound more of yourself than instead of another person. Yeah, right. But for you to be able to understand a certain genre of music and to be able to play wonderful solos on it, you need to copy. Now, a famous trumpeter and flugelhorn player, Clackery, he said that there's no problem with copying actually, as far as you copy the right cat. That means there's no problem with copying as far as you copy from the right person. Now, why should you copy? I'm going to still use another illustration. Now, you're going to school. Let's say you want to be an engineer. You applied and you got the admission. You are schooling to become an engineer. Now, they don't just start with teaching you exactly what you need. That's this is exactly what you need that will make you an engineer. They don't just start with that. They'll start with what people have done in the past. Okay, this Isaac Newton in 1500, he worked on something like this. He did this. Why are they teaching you that? Because they're trying to lay the foundation. So you don't start off making mistakes people have already made in the past. But actually you improve on their mistakes and become even better. So the essence of copying, it gives you an edge because you are trying to understand the genre, the style of music. So instead of you just going in on your own and making those mistakes all over and everything. When you listen and then you try to copy people, you say, okay, yesterday I heard this amazing phrase by this jazz trumpet player. So let me try to learn that phrase. You practice it and then you try to incorporate it in your solo. And then not just incorporate it. Once you incorporate it, you add your own notes. So in the end, you are not sounding exactly like that person, but you are improving upon what the person did. You don't just copy and you keep play what he did each time you are to play that solo. But no, you copy first of all, and then you try to improve upon it. So in doing that, you become a better musician because certain phrasing, certain methods of phrasing, certain phrases, certain musical phrases and cliche and licks, you'll be able to learn them. Let's say you're listening to four different trumpet players, okay, and you've transcribed most of their works, and they are playing in the same genre. If you are required to play a solo in that same genre, already the things that they do in their solos. You know the kind of articulations and the methods of phrasing that that they use when playing solos in that genre. So you just borrow a little of each of them, and then you add your own notes, you add your own voice, you add your own techniques, and you make the solo sound even more beautiful. Now, some of the best solos they usually start off with a simple melody. Now, what's a melody? In a song, the melody is the main idea of the song. Let's say you're playing Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Da 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 da. That's the melody of the song. Depending on the genre you're playing, the genre of music you're playing on. Let's say we are playing some blues, and I'm playing Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. So instead of just playing, I'm going to start off with playing the song, and then I keep playing the song in my head, and then adding some of those cool cliches and phrases and lyrics that I've been listening to and copying and practicing upon. So let's try something on that. Amazing Grace. I'm going to be playing it as a blues now. Is it da da di da 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 di da di da? Now you must have heard that phrase somewhere. And since I'm playing in a blues setting, a blues is a kind of a sad kind of sad setting. People are blue, like they are sad or something like that. So a phrase like that actually sits well with a blues setting. You remember I said I'm playing it in a blues form, Amazing Grace. So I'm going to do that again. Okay, so if you what I did there, I was just playing the melody. Amazing grace, how sweet. But I'm adding some blues licks to that melody. I'm making it sound a kind of blue. I'm changing some notes and adding some licks and some phrases in between. That's the basic way of playing a solo. We start off with the melody. When I was learning how to play solos, I usually play the melody. I keep playing it, playing and playing and playing until I get bored with the melody. And when I get bored with the melody, I start changing some notes. I said earlier, some of the best solos start off with a simple melody. Now I said it starts off with a simple melody. You can go on and go on and get as wild or as far away from the melody as possible. But it must come back eventually to the melody. There are some solos you listen to and they don't follow that pattern that where you can if you sing the melody along or from the solo you can identify the melody. But in the end of the day, no matter how far away they've gone, they must come back, or they must end with, or they must enter back the melody, the original melody they were on. If it's in a jazz setting, some they follow a chord progression, they follow chord progressions. At the end of the day, no matter how far away you've gone, you must come back to the original melody. So yeah, so there are no limits to what you can do on the instrument, or what you can do in it. There are no limits to what you can do in a solo. It depends on you. You start off with the simple melody, depending on the type of genre you are playing. Start with the simple melody, and you try to bring in some of the phrases that fit in with that kind of setting. Try to make the song a little bit more stylish instead of the old boring way it's played all the time. Try to make it more interesting, more stylish, adding those cool phrases. If you earlier listen to what I did, I was playing Amazing Grace in a blues manner, and I brought in the blues lick. Da, 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 da. And let me try that again. I did that lick. It sits well with the blues setting, where the blues kind of setting, with the melancholy feel or stuff. So you should understand each genre, the kind of licks, the kind of phrases that appeal to that genre, and then you try to play them back, and you try to learn some cool techniques. If you are playing jazz music, you try to learn some of the cool techniques that jazz players do, and you try to bring them into your music. Now those stuff, they are like spices on a spice rack. They had some kind of tension, some kind of excitement. Let's say if you are to add a shake, so they are like spices on a spice rack. A good chef should know when and where he should put one, and they kind of bring out or add flavor to the music. So I will encourage you, if you wish to play some very cool and wonderful solos, you should listen to lots and lots and lots of musicians, and they should try to score or try to transcribe their music, the notes they played and the way they played it. Try to transcribe, write the notes out, try to play them exactly how the person played it, and then from there, try to scatter everything. When I mean scatter everything, I mean like try to, from when you've played it to some level of confidence and you've gotten the notes exactly, and you can play exactly the way that person played, you can now add your own notes. You can now paraphrase it. Instead of playing it this way, you play it your own way. You add in some other licks you've heard. So that's how you learn how to play solos. Eventually, when you've transcribed and you've worked upon dozens and dozens of other solos, you'd you'd find that you have lots of, like, your musical vocabulary has increased massively, so that if you are to play an impromptu solo that you never practiced or you were not expecting, you'd have lots of phrases and lots of licks at your fingertips that you can easily apply. Then lastly, record yourself playing. Now when you do this, you when you've learned all there is that there is to learn, you actually pick a piece of music and you try to practice with it, you try to play solo by it, you record yourself. So at the end of the day, you can listen back at yourself and you're like, okay, at these places I didn't press so well, or I was too hasty here, or I didn't follow the pattern that I should have followed. And then you can improve on it, you can work on yourself, and then you can also send the music to your recording to people who are better off than you, or people who are more advanced than you, and they are like, okay, you tried, but certain place, if you are playing it next time, phrase it this way instead. So that's how you learn, and you become a better soloist. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please do well to subscribe and to give us a thumbs up on this video, and also do well to share and leave a comment. Let us know if this was helpful to you. Thank you. You can actually listen to a solo I played on a song "Shine" by Barry Bott. The link is on the screen above.